So here we have an example about crossface, forcing mount, beauty underhook, or crossface. We're gonna palm inside the frames if the partner is giving us a hard time. We're gonna use elbow to wide open up the body and then build up underhook as well, the far side you're gonna be looking for. So pretty simple. It's more, like I would say this way of building far side underhook is possibly the simplest one you guys can have if you guys are starting the process of building up your game from top half guard. So once I make my connection, crossface, I bend the body to apply pressure. I'm not gonna go too crazy in here. It's not Kiwitan, but this is pretty much what we're gonna do. We start changing our body position from the hips as we are looking for to a situation where heads are aligned, shoulders are aligned. Now we have the gravity working in your favor. So I'm start shifting my hips and then we're gonna be able to walk. So a lot of times we walk just enough to free our knee and then we're gonna start forcing the mount position, right? So if my opponent doesn't give me any reaction, it's pretty easy for me just drag the knee down and go straight to the mount. So a lot of times people, they're gonna do two things. One, follow our leg with their knees, right? So the more I bring my knee up, the more he brings knees against the chest. And we need to fight this leg in two different ways. One, pushing me down, like so, right? Or two, posting my elbow on the mat, posting my hand on the mat and my elbow against his leg, and then creating some shaking action when I can push his knee away and start forcing mount position. So the way I use my leg is, the more far away my foot is from his T-bone, the harder it's gonna be to drag his knee down. So it's gonna be super simple for Ethan. Even if I have my 45 posture here, it's gonna be pretty easy for him bring his knees towards his chest. But the more I bring my knee towards his T-bone, the harder it's going to be for him because my knee is pretty high. So whatever method I choose, either dragging the knee away with my hand or just pulsing on his thigh and getting my knee free, both ways it works super well because my knee is pointing to the ceiling. So his reaction, most of the case, people, they come to stop the knee. If he doesn't, I go straight to mount. But a lot of people, mostly I would say if they are good defending any type of situation, even though half guard, you're gonna post on the knee, which is pretty easy for me. Build up my underhook right away. This is a reaction that always happens and we need to capitalize from that. We can always work in a situation where we're really struggling to build up underhook from here. He's doing a good job. So I have my crossface, I have my half guard situation, I start walking, building pressure. So I fight the knee and then I can use this momentum where he's pulsing to avoid my mount position, to drop my head and swing my hand. So once I swing my hand, you guys know what to do. We can always scoop grip like so, or we can release the crossface, connect the gable, grip like so. So I have wrist to wrist. Now I can widen my elbow and then we're gonna have the same situation. You're gonna have pretty much the same situation from 3/4 mount, where I come with my leg, I palm over the top leg, and now we're gonna start sprawling the hips away, pointing this out and fighting the top leg. So no matter what Ethan does from this position to avoid my leg of coming out from half guard, so I'm always gonna be able to sprawl, knees away, drag my body way down, and then we're gonna start tripoding like so. So I can drop my head on the mat to have a better base, control his body, completely isolated like that. So I have crossface, which is not working with my hand on the armpit, but here I have a super solid scenario. So I have my gable wide open, my elbow wide open, so I can here tripod, step on his hip first, step the second foot on the hip, and then we come straight to the mount already, working to build up underhooks and be proactive from mount right away. So this is the simplest method you guys can apply from here. If you guys capitalize with crossface, pretty simple to build up underhook. If he's being naive with this elbow, you guys can just swim, just repeat the same process. Of course, from here, you guys need to walk to the center first to free your knee and then start widening the body. But it's super easy to finalize in the same way. But here, as we are working the conventional way, we need to force the situation where I shift my hips, knees and toes are pointing there. So walk, free my knee. Once he pulls to avoid my mount, my head comes down and my underhook comes up. So once we get in this situation, So I fire my elbow, and then I'm gonna palm my leg on top of his top leg and sprawl down my hips first to create tension. So if it is pretty tight here, yeah. So the more I sprawl away, the more tension I have. So now as my knees are pointing out, I hip up. It's gonna be pretty easy to step on his hips. And then come straight to the mount. So this is the first method, super simple. And the second one that we're gonna see, you can see there. So this as well from crossface, but this time we struggle a little bit to find a good position for the lower body. So we are walking just enough to feel safe. We're not gonna be dealing with any type of butterfly hook or etc. We're just gonna be inside half guard, and you're gonna use the palm method to open the elbow. So if he has his frame inside, and of course the underhook's not a possibility here, I'm trying to walk there, but for some reason he's doing a good job keeping his body tight, keeping the knee up, and I feel like this is not being comfortable for me. I need to still finding a situation where I'm over the hips, right? So even though my head is aligned, I need to be fighting against the hips. The more I point my knees towards that direction, the better for me. So I remove my knees from the mats. I'm still having my athletic position. My underhook grip here holds me up, so I'm posting my entire body weight on my elbow, and now I'm gonna palm this hand inside. No matter how tight Ethan keeps this elbow over here, framing my neck, I'm always gonna be able to palm my hand inside like so, inside the biceps. So now I'm gonna connect 10 fingers grip. You guys can see here, it's pretty simple. So frame is pretty tight, he's trying to turn sideways. I'm using gravity to stay heavy on top, fighting his frame. You guys can see my voice is also changing. So I just come with my hand and palm inside. Once I palm inside, so I'm gonna connect, not palm down. You guys can see there's just one way of connecting here. So I have my elbow on the mat, so 10 fingers. Once we have 10 fingers, I'm gonna open his elbow with my own elbow. So if I need to change my body position a little bit, gaining more territory is fine. So if he tries to keep his elbow in place, it's gonna be pretty easy for me to swim my head inside, and now I'm in between his hand and his chest. If he tries palm around his hand, it's pretty easy for me, build up my underhook. My arm was already in the right spot. My hand is just receiving my underhook, so I can widen my elbow, and then we have my action here where we can walk against the hips and end up in the same position, right? So palming around, sprawling, tripoding and going to the pass. Or we can, from this position, just tripoding right away, because we have from this situation before we climb all the way to the hips, as we are passing already from the same side that we started half guard, we're gonna be pretty much with our body 45. I'm gonna post my head on the mat and tripod right away. You guys can always tripod right away from the same side you guys are starting half guard. Once you guys have crossface and underhook well placed. So here crossface control and underhook is gonna be safe. You guys can just rise your hips from the same spot and then get the pass. So you guys can work from here, rising, going either knee cut, which works a lot, going straight side control. You guys will feel that here is pretty simple to just step on the bottom leg, top leg, bottom leg, top leg, until you guys feel things are free. Or you guys can, from this position, because you guys have head position pretty well, just shake your leg, extend everything. So here there's no connection to the hip. Remember, so if my elbow is not open and he pins my elbow on my own body, he can possibly flip me towards the side. Yeah. So you guys just rise your hips to a tripod situation like so. Whenever you guys feel your elbow is wide enough, right? So from here you guys can just palm, both legs work. You guys can also cut the knee towards this direction. But mostly what to do here is the best case possible. You just repeat the process, palming over the top leg, and then you guys gonna be in a super comfortable spot. So we swim our hand inside, we change body position, we gain space, and then from there we're gonna be able to also build underhook. These two ways, they are the easiest, in my opinion, the simplest ways possible to build underhook on the far side, and doesn't require much time to develop the skill, or actually skill learning Jiu-Jitsu, so you guys can just replicate right away.